Hi. In today's video, I'll be telling you about my meeting with Agnieszka, and that's the next section from my book, Pick That. And if that's something for you, then stay tuned and off we go. So I met Aga when I used to go to drawing classes to Youth Palace, the classes with Jacek Kucaba. And when I met her, she invited me over to be her model and to barter for my modeling or her modeling. And at a time I was asked to be a babysitter of her child. And I wasn't the best babysitter because that these were my beginnings. And he peed but he was a little boy with a very unusual name, Hieronim, which I strongly associate with painters, with Hieronim Bosch. And next time she invited me to become an actress. So her husband was a director, and some girl resigned the last minute. I don't remember why, but I was asked to cover for her, and it was summertime, and I was about to graduate from a high school, and I was wondering what to do with next, like graphic design, French philology, English philology, and so on. So what I wanted to tell you here is that I decided to actually take part in a performance that we were doing. And that performance is, it was entitled Solidarność, Solidarity, and I'm reading now. So it's about the Polish trade union and social movement that played a crucial role in the struggle for workers' rights and political change in Poland during the late 20th century. It was founded in September 1980 at the Gdańsk shipyard following a series of strikes and protests by workers demanding better working conditions, pay and social freedoms. It was the first independent labor trade in a Soviet bloc country. And the movement was led by Lech Wałęsa. Okay. So that was the title of the spectacle, because I have to tell you that, when I was taking part in it, and for many long years after I took part in that performance, I didn't quite know what was that, historical event about, what did it stand for, and what did it talk about. So, we used to have rehearsals in Szturowa, and I had, during the very first rehearsal, I had my scene with Jacek, who had a very gypsy look, very gypsy appearance, and our scene was based on the just running from two different corners of the room. So I was running from this side, he was running from this side, and when he was running, he was actually running first. He was falling on the floor, and I was, above him, just grabbing his hand or something. So I remember one time we had a funny situation when, I was wearing a skirt and I was running, and his head, when he fell, his head landed between my legs, and I had a skirt, but, nothing really horrible this time. And other time when we were doing a scene that was with regard to Jacek and me, we were doing it all day long, and my impression was, then my director Al told me that, so much time, it took so much time, and nobody else managed to do their rehearsal, and they didn't manage to do their scenes, and it was just me and Jacek doing that much, as me running from this corner and he from the other corner. So I was like, oh, thank you. I felt like, oh, maybe I wasn't just doing that well as an actress. Well, or maybe to channel someone, it was, basically, uh, and the reason why the focus was on me. Or maybe I was a bad actress, because finally Al, didn't tell me explicitly and directly, but he would just say it in my company that the previous actress was better. She was very talented and so on, and he would just give me a look. But I never said to anyone I was an actress, and that was not even one of my dreams. So they pretty much were aware that I had no experience in acting. Sure thing. Um, so in other scenes, we were asked to choose the gesture. Each one of us was supposed to choose a gesture, but we were supposed to choose a different pose. So I was planning to stand with my arms crossed like that, because this was how I felt. So Mirek was the first one to say, "Oh, I will be standing like this." So I decided to stand in a contra pose, because you know I had to choose something. Um, yeah. And I was also told that, my hair, when I dyed my hair, I was told that, maybe during that time of solidarity, there was no this type of color. Or, I was told in a car when we were going to Szturowa to have our rehearsals that I stunk. Or, I had a hen party of my sister, and everybody knew I was going to the party, but yet, I fall asleep and I was late, and my director was kind of angry with me. Um, and we were doing this spectacle in 7 different places in Poland, and there was the music created by, for now I can't say by whom. That's interesting too. And once we were done with performing, because I'm thinking, what do I actually recall? I recall from the performance itself, I recall a scene with one of the guys. So I was running away, and he was there with the fire very close to my face. So that was this, in Polish we say pochodnia. Or we're doing the theater of shadows, and we're pretending to work, and the audience could see only our shadows. So we were doing this behind this very the white sheet hanging in a scene. Yeah, and then once we were done with the performance, we were sitting in the piano. We were celebrating in Tarnów, and one of the guys that used to run those jamba sessions. He had long dreadlocks, and he actually lived with Agnieszka and her husband, who was a director. And the other one didn't have dreadlocks, but he was an actor with us, and we used to call him Shiva. So there was this conversation that Shiva and Al had together. So they were talking about the salary, they were talking about the money, and Shiva wanted more money, and he was just pointing out to all the reasons, like the time I put in and the money I spent on commuting and so on. And then when it came to me, I just told my director that I don't need the money, and it was just great to try to be an actress and to have that experience. And he kind of was angry with me, so I didn't understand, like, why would you be angry with me when somebody just a moment ago wanted more from you? Because I assume that having such a conversation just next to the table when everybody is partying can be embarrassing, right? It can be inconvenient, it can be not comfortable. So but he was angry with me for what I said, but he paid me like 160 or perhaps 170. And there was one more meeting when they invited me to go to the performance, and we went to the performance. I don't remember where exactly, but um, there was. Let me just ask Gigi. Um, I'm asking about the character from Mamins from the Finnish fairy tale because there was a girl, um, Little May. Yeah, there was a character in Mamins. there was a character. There was a character in Mamins called Little May, and Little May, is this girl with ginger hair and with this distinctive, very characteristic forehead, I would say, and red dress. So I have to tell you that that girl and quite a few other girls I met in my life were similar to Little May, and yeah, I will be writing about that too. So there was this girl, and I was the center of the entire spectacle, which was quite interesting for me. And the way she sang, she had a beautiful voice. She sang it nicely, but what she sang was, poverty, my poverty, how am I? So, but she sang it like it was really like with a lot of emotions, and uh, that song is stuck with me, and later we went to the restaurant to order some coffee, and Aga was like, okay, what should I choose? I probably choose something and I will regret, and everybody else will have something better, and it happened. um, so she ordered her coffee, and then she said no, and Maria probably had something better to drink. Um, yeah, so there is one more event because okay, maybe first about let me just organize my notes. Today is not today. So later, I also did something. I did something horrible, and Aga told me that I could make a flyer, I could make a postcard for the event. And I had this conversation with her that I didn't know what to do and what should I study, and that was a thing in my life. So um, she also told me, this very reasonable thing, like if you think you cannot design, then maybe this is not for you. But um, um, with the postcard, I don't know why, and I don't know how could I, and I don't know. I just kind of was desperate to present that I had some skills when I did not have skills. And I made a postcard, um, and I used the book cover of the existing book. So it was the book by Helen B., The Psychology of Human Development, which would present, a very young toddler with no hair and an elderly person with no hair. So we would see both of these heads from the back. So they were like almost alike, and yet we could see the difference, right? And I used that postcard. I just added some letters here and there, some inscriptions. So, I was just adding another layer to, building this false identity, when I actually could not deliver the postcard. So I should have not. But I also know that, well, hypnosis, covert hypnosis is also something that, well, sometimes it makes you do things, or not even sometimes. Um, but anyway, for many, many years, I didn't say that to anyone, and I was embarrassed, and it's just, um, it wasn't good. So anyway, I'm sorry for overstepping, and I'm sorry for what I did. And what I wanted to tell you here is that, yet years later, Agnieszka has written a book, Anna May, which was published in November, on the 18th of November 2015. So we have 18th 11 1015 in that date, which for me is significant because I'm, from time to time in my articles looking at numerology too. So 11 and 18, that fits a lot, the story with Bella and the Beast. I mean, the dates. Yeah. And I think. Oh, and there was a friend, Philip. So there was yet another actor called Philip, and sometime later, I met him in Krakow because I saw on Facebook that there was an event, a concert. So I went to the concert and I took my flatmate with me, Kasia, because I lived with Magda, and Kasia. And once we went to the concert, there was no one in the bar, just us. And straight from our table, straight ahead, I could see Philip Peterek and his girlfriend singing, and Philip playing the drums. And later, somehow accidentally, I met him somewhere, and I told him, that I was there, and he was like, "I haven't seen you," and I'm in my head thinking, but me and my friend Kasia were the only people there that were sitting opposite to you. How could you possibly not see us? It was so hard to not to see. But I think he just said that intentionally to intentionally introduce confusion, or just to show me that I memorized something in a wrong way. But this is so explicit that this cannot be more explicit. So yeah, if you want to buy my book Piglet, if you want to learn more, if you are curious about the history, how I was walking through the system and meeting Jewish people and meeting more often Gypsy people, and I was discovering my identity and the identity of people surrounding me. And then all the info is in the description of the film and on my Facebook, Instagram accounts. And the same is with my course Amelia, that is designed to show you how the personalities of lesbians, gays, transvestites, and pedophiles are created. So if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.